Okay, I pressed a button. All right, guess that means we're recording something. And you clicked the mouse thing, and now my fleshy mouth flaps are saying word sounds at you about what? About stories. That is the plan. That's what we're talking about. Stories. We've all got them. I mean, this one right here. It's kind of a big story. And this one has been sitting on my brain, my hard drives for a decade, probably. Let's put you right here. Like, we all want to have a good story, right? Like, this thing has been sitting on my hard drives and in the back of my brain for so long because I want it to be good. Let's do this a little action right in here. And I guess we could at least give the story a title, right? Maybe we have a little fun while we're doing that. Get a little first-person view action going on. You know what? This is about as raw as you get, man. Maybe go a little wider. All right, we're gonna talk and work, if you don't mind. So, yeah, for me, I have lived a lot of stories in my short time here on this earth. And this thing here, this video series, for a good while now, been working through this idea and planning on just crushing it, as we always do, right? And then, you know, selling it to a streaming platform. Light and meaning, teaching digital media and life. And that may still happen, but the needle was not moving at all for a long time. And I love momentum. So, this version here, you can think of it like a vlog pre-production version, a practice run. It is going to be a very nice mixture of underproduced and overproduced. So get used to it. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, at the end of the day, this really is just the story of me trying to put together the bones of something that will be remade much better in the future if time allows. 2 kids, multiple jobs, life happens, man. And I'm tired of this needle not moving. Now, what I will say is each of these little episodes is going to be the chapters of the bigger light and meaning story. Could be good, could be a flop. I am committed to rolling with it either way. We're packed. I will see you tomorrow, bright and early. What should we do for our transitions? Good. Why are you even in there? That doesn't even make sense. But while we're loading, let's do a little context here. So I have run a media company where I've been producing and teaching media since, 2007? And, you know, as things do, that went from me doing something I love to just turning into a job, right? Trading time and skill for the green dollar bills. Just, you know, over time, it just lost its spirit. But while it was losing all of its meaning, there was still a spark down there that never died, right? And so meanwhile, I've always been making a list of shots that I wanted to get if that fire ever returned, right? These bucket list shots. And well, I am deciding that the fire is back. It's not just gonna come back. I'm gonna throw some gasoline on it. So we are going out today to get us a bucket list shot. hopefully. What the heck, dude? I don't understand. Right. Put you right there. See how that does. There we go. We're gonna call this no tripod necessary. Yeah, we'll see. So as for a lot of bucket list shots, this one revolves around a particular place, right? Actually, a specific weather pattern at a specific place. So the place is called Snooper's Rock. It's a little over an hour from me here in Chattanooga. And by itself, it is pretty impressive. It's like a horseshoe bend around the Tennessee River Gorge. It's not super well known and it's not like super easy to get to. So it has the perfect makings for a great shot. So I've shot there for fun, for work, but there was one shot that I've tried a handful of times to get that has been frustratingly elusive. On certain occasions, when the weather is right, clouds will form on the river and they will make, I mean, literally like a river of clouds. I got a couple photographer friends in the area who have gotten this shot and it has always been on my bucket list. But because of how weather works, it only really happens at sunrise and the weather conditions have to be just right. Something about temperature and dew point or humidity, I have no idea. I'm not a weather scientist, but several times I have gotten up at 4 a.m. or stayed overnight to try and get this shot and I've never gotten it. But like any determined photographer, I will get this shot. And I mean, let's be honest, the chase is part of the fun, right? If you could just walk up and get the shot at any time or just make it with AI, right? There's nothing special or magical about that. And it wouldn't be on my bucket list if that was the case. But anyway, not only do I want a photo of this, but I do all kinds of media, right? Photography, videography, drone, time lapse. So the bucket list shot that I really want to get is a time lapse, because I've seen these beautiful, beautiful photos where the clouds are just sitting in this river gorge. But I mean, if anybody's ever seen a time lapse of clouds, clouds dance, right? I can only imagine what these clouds do in a time lapse whenever you can actually see the movement of them. So I get it, I'm asking a lot, but that's the goal. Get an awesome time lapse of these clouds dancing in the Tennessee River Gorge. So I figured this is as good a time as any to start this light and meaning endeavor. I hired a photo video guy. He's actually one of my students from, I don't know, what, 2016? We're gonna pick him up, we're gonna drive up, set up the cameras, shoot all night long, and then I have to be back at work at 9 a.m. the next morning. So this is how this story is happening. Enough of my talking head. Let's get after it. A picture is the story of a single moment in time. It is a gorgeous night. We're out here tonight shooting one of the types of photography that I love the most, which is time-lapse photography. All right. There's a few different ways that one could go about getting a time-lapse. You could use your phone. Your phone has a time-lapse feature built in, and that'll get you some decent time-lapses as long as you have, a tripod and good lighting. You can also record a video and speed it up. That also gives you a time-lapse. But that, again, you need good lighting and a very sturdy tripod. You don't want any movement in that. But to do a time-lapse at night, this is where time-lapse photography comes in. See, to get a good photo of the night sky, the only way to do that is to do what's called a long exposure photo. So these cameras have what's called a sensor. You could think of that like the eye of the camera, right? They also have an eyelid in there called a shutter. And most of the time, whenever you press that shutter button, that shutter is going to open and close extremely fast, right? Usually you're shooting in the daytime. I mean, it could go up to 1/8,000th of a second. If you didn't hear it click, you wouldn't even know it took a photo. But it can also open for a really long time. And that's how you get a long exposure, right? You open it up and that sensor just soaks in all of the light for however long you leave that shutter open. And this is why time-lapse photography is necessary whenever you need to get photos of the night sky. So how a time-lapse works is you are going to set your camera to take photos at certain intervals of time, 5 to 30 seconds or more. So when doing something like this, where we are shooting sunset, moon, stars, all night long, sunrise, we have to consider two things. The first thing, what is our interval going to be? So setting your interval all depends on your subject. If you have a fast-moving subject, say, people walking, traffic, you're going to want a shorter interval, 1 to 10 seconds, something like that. If you have something longer, moon, stars, sun moving through the sky, then you're going to want a longer interval, 30 seconds, maybe more. Now, the other thing to consider is how long the shutter will be open. So normally during the day, you don't have to worry about that. It's going to open super fast, easy peasy. But at night, we need the shutter to open longer to get a better photos of the night sky. Now, you don't want it open too long because that'll give you either too bright of an image that you can't use, or the stars are moving, right? And the moon is too. Like, those things will actually move while your shutter is open, and then that movement will show up in the photo. You can't really use it. It's not very sharp. But you don't want it too short because then it's too dark and you just don't have a good photo to use. So you have to figure out what the shutter speed needs to be in order to get a well-exposed photo that doesn't have too much motion. So for this here, we are going with an 8-second exposure. That means that shutter is going to be open for 8 seconds, soaking up all that light during that 8 seconds. Now for the time lapse, we have to consider the interval between photos. So we have to at least have an 8-second interval. You probably want a few more seconds to make sure that your camera can process that long exposure and be ready to take in the next shot. Now, you're probably starting to understand why this time lapse is so tricky, right? We have to have at least an 8-second interval, probably 10 to 11, right, in order to accommodate for the long exposure at nighttime. But we also have to think about our subject. Now, sun, stars, all that stuff, you can do a slow interval. However, that's not what we're here to get. We are here, God willing, to get clouds. Now, I wouldn't say clouds are slow. I describe them as medium fast. Clouds are, they're too slow to kind of like really perceive them moving with the naked eye, but they're too fast to have a long interval. They are moving pretty quick. So we do need a somewhat shorter interval. So since we are here to get this bucket shot, we need at least 10 or 11 seconds. We're going with a 12-second interval. So that gives us the 8 seconds for the exposure, a few extra seconds, and then just makes for easy math, right? 12-second intervals mean I get 5 photos per minute. 5 photos per minute means I get 300 photos per hour, and you're starting to do the math, right? We set this camera up at 6 p.m. We plan on shooting until at least 8 a.m. So across 14 hours, that is going to give us at least, what is it, over 4,000 raw images to process into a time lapse. So now you probably understand that the shooting of the time lapse is just the beginning, right? We've got a lot of work to do in the post-processing, but that post-processing usually pays off because most time lapses, I mean, that's why I love them. Time lapses are special, right? If a photo is the story of a moment in time, then a time lapse is the story of a passage of moments as they weave and cut and move through time. The story of a passage of time. It's like a memory, taking time and compressing it down into a story. With time come stories. Stories, they take time and distill it down into something tangible. And the longer we live, the more stories we gather. And the more stories we gather, the more we appreciate a really good story. All right, well, we've done about all we can do. We've set up all the cameras, got the time lapses going. I've got an alarm set every 90 minutes to check, make sure nothing messes up, because the one thing you can't have in a time lapse is a lapse of time. So I'll be going down to check and make sure everything's good throughout the night, but it's about 2 a.m. We'll get a little shut-eye here and there. Just hope for the best. I did see some clouds starting to form over the water, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up because I've been out here overnight before and I have seen that before. And then it just disappeared to a completely boring river in the morning. So fingers crossed. We'll hope for the best. See what we get. Night night. Oh my gosh. Me and Andrew, Andrew number 2, the cameraman, just got back to our cars. We had a quick Waffle House stop on the way back, but we got the shot. Oh my gosh, we got the shot. We freaking got it. What are the odds that out of the dozen times that I go out there to get that one shot, it happens when I'm starting this series? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy, but that has got to be a sign or something. Not only did I get the time lapse I wanted to get, I got like a dozen time lapses and drone footage. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm at work and I am dead tired, but I'm also high on life right now. So I'm gonna go in here. I'm going to not pay any attention to staff meeting, and I'm going to process through what just happened and type it all out on my computer while it's still fresh in my memory. And then, I don't know, I'm gonna get some sleep tonight and we will wrap this thing up tomorrow. We got the freaking shot. Oh, we'll see you soon. Well, what a night, right? This thing started off pretty well, and I wrote a lot, both the next day at work during staff meeting and also that night while we were shooting that time lapse. I mean, after my first couple alarms went off, I don't know what time it was, 4:30, 5 o'clock, something like that, I went down to check the cameras and saw that those clouds were pretty dense. And I mean, I definitely wasn't going to sleep after that. So I just kind of sat in my chair, soaked it all in while checking all of my cameras religiously and setting up a few new time lapses. But as it usually happens when sitting under a sky full of stars, just watching nature paint a canvas right in front of me, I just had time to sit and think and write, which I love doing. I do love writing. It always seems like the bigger the landscape, the deeper your mind opens up. I don't know if that's just me. It's just when you're in front of just beautiful nature, night sky, whatever it is. It's weird. This sounds crazy. I don't know, like your soul just opens up in a way that you can't really put into words, even though I try. But when there's already a topic to write about, things just start to flow. And I ended up with pages and pages and pages, reflecting not only on like this story here, but just stories in general, right? I mean, I found it beautifully ironic that I got the shot the one time that I finally decided to start this light and meaning journey. But the more I thought about it, that is often how it works. I thought back on the other times that I tried to get this shot, and And it was just times where I had a free night before kids, and I thought, hey, let's grab our camera and see what happens. Just going out there with some hope, just taking advantage of an opportunity. But whenever I decided that this was the shot that I wanted to start this story with, I didn't really notice it until thinking back, but I definitely gave it more attention, right? It mattered more, so it got more of my attention. I found myself going back to look at the old photos from another photographer friend that had gotten that shot. And I noticed the time of year, which led me to plan this one during this time of year. Now with kiddos and multiple jobs, I didn't have time to do a ton of research, but I did more than I had previously done, and it paid off, right? Big time, because it meant more. It was part of a bigger story, and therefore I think it was just more likely to happen. And I really do think that's how it works a lot of the time. In life, when we're going along with no direction, it's not like nothing happens, but maybe since we aren't heading towards anything, the things that happen just don't show up as part of our story. They're just things that happen. And then when we are heading towards something, things not only show up, but sometimes, obviously sometimes, the world can just help you out a little bit, work in your favor, help you write the story you're trying to write. I do want to end things with something short that I wrote that night under the sky full of stars. Just watching this story take shape might be a little bit dramatic. Bear with me. Spin around till you hear the sound of a path that calls to you. Then take a step into that call and the life you wish were true. Let the path take shape beneath you as you live out every day, and watch your motivation rise as you discover your way. Things stolen from you become yours again, namely your focus and attention. In a world pulling you to and fro, the antidote is your intention. Continue down the path and pay no attention to the doubts, in whatever form they may appear to you, from within you or without. The only thing your spirit needs from you is that you discover your deeper meaning, and story is the oxygen that your soul needs to continue breathing. So, was that a little bit dramatic? Yeah, a little bit. Kind of comes with the territory of confining your words into rhyme. Makes it a little more fun, in my opinion. Was it a little corny? Yeah, probably. Grown men writing poetry might make some people cringe, but I think there's a little bit of truth in those good old white boy bars, right? Stories are these things that guide us. They follow a path. Now, we aren't always able to see that path until we get to the end and look back, but it just seems so imperative for human beings to choose a direction and then just take that first step, right? Things might get in your way. Maybe you get knocked down, but you have a direction. You're not really in control of what shows up on your path, but as long as you keep getting up, keep moving forward, that journey's now part of your bigger story. And then when you get to the end and you look back on the path that brought you in the direction that you wanted to go, I think that's where we find the stories of life, right? So I just want to encourage anybody watching. I would bet you have something inside of you. It may not be a precise destination, may not be some big grand thing, but I bet you have a direction that you know you should probably start going in. So I encourage you to take that first step. Start going in a direction and get some momentum. It's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. If it were easy, it wouldn't mean much to you. Value is found in the struggle, and no good story is ever easy. But if you get some momentum, those bumps are going to be way less noticeable, and you'll be able to keep going. So, get up, get moving, start your story, whatever that means for you. Oh, it's done. It is done. What? 2 years from when I started planning this? 15 months since I filmed it? It's finally done. Is it anything like I want the Endgame series to look like? No, it's like 35% of the way there. But it was fun. Vlog style was the thing that got it done, right? And now it is done. And this is what momentum feels like. It feels good. And as with all internet things, we must give our tithes and offerings to the internet algorithm gods, right? To see if we can get some momentum behind this thing on the internet. So, if it was enjoyable to you in any way, shape, or form, do all of the things that tube humans do. Press the buttons that feed the algorithm god. I mean, personally, it would mean a lot to me if any of the content around this got shared. I've got a podcast that I did with the cameraman. We just shot that a couple weeks ago. I'll have that out soon. I'll probably put together like a shot montage with all of the shots from that morning. I've got a ton of stuff in the pipeline. I've filmed 3 more Light and Meanings. We'll probably just do them vlog style. I hope to get those out this year. Yeah, if there's any interest, I'd put out a time-lapse photography course around this one. Who knows, man? I've got a ton of plans for this story, like big plans. So if you want to be a part of this journey in any way, shape, or form, do all of your button mashing things, share it, but also just come over to the website. It's down in the description. There's all kinds of ways to just hang out or partner or support in money ways, non-money ways, right? One of the core goals for Aim Up Media is to build a community of people that just help people aim up in whatever ways up is for people. It's just humans learning to human better and having some fun, creative adventures while we're doing it. So join the Discord. Come say hi. Yeah, that's all I got. This is awkward. I love you for still being here, listening to my fleshy mouth flaps. I don't expect that there's many of you, but if there's anybody still watching, thank you. Seriously. This is a big deal to me, and it means a lot that you would give me your time and attention. So yeah, thank you. Many, many much. And I should have like a sign-off phrase maybe. My go-to is usually just stay human and keep aiming up. Love you, bye.